Are you guys ready? Are you feeling good? Yeah. I don't think I even need to say this, but this is a live taping, so you are part of the show, but don't try to be part of the show. Do you know what? You understand? Just continue being cool. We're gonna have such a fun night. This guy, he's one of the best comics in town, one of the most unique and funny voices from this city that I think ever was. Everybody give it up for the great J.D. Renaud.
I was 7, maybe 8 years old, and I was asleep in my bed. It was a school day, and it was about 6:45 in the morning. My alarm hadn't even gone off yet, and my bedroom door just burst open, and it was my dad. And my dad just said, "Get in the car." I was like, "Is everything okay? Is the house on fire? What's up?" He was like, "No, get in the car." I was like, "Oh, Jesus, okay." So got my shit together, I got dressed, walked out to the front yard. Dad's already in the car, engine's running, no one else with him. Sit in the passenger seat, we take off. We're driving for like 25, 30 minutes. We're like going to like the outer stretches of town. We're going to like kind of an industrial park area that's under construction. We go there, and there's guys working there. They're like building stuff. They're like building like a strip mall. My dad pulls up in front of it, parks right in front. He gets out of the car, sits on the hood, slaps on the hood for me to come out. And I do, and I sit beside my dad. He has not said a word. And we look, and what he pointed the car at is they're building stores. They're building a strip mall of stores. So they're bringing in like fiberglass and windows, but they're also bringing in fixtures for what the store's gonna be. So they're bringing in like dressers and clothing racks, and there's guys bringing in, they're bringing in belts and suspenders and dress shirts and men's suits. And my dad, he just put his arm around me. He just looked at me. And he said, "Son, one day, this will all be Moors." Nobody watches comedy specials from the beginning. We all know what this is, right? I'm recording an hour of material to chop up into 61-minute Instagram reels. Correction, 59. No one's seeing that. No one's seeing that. That's just for us and whoever watched the special from the very beginning. And you know who watches specials from the beginning? Freaks and weirdos. And you know what they like? Jokes like that. Everyone who isn't cool is gone now. I'm getting older, but so are you, so I'm not mad about it. If it were just me, I'd be furious. If I was just getting older and you all stayed like hot 22-year-old witches and warlocks and I'm turning into a skeleton walking into the street, I'd be like, fuck it. But that's not the case. We're all getting older at the exact same rate. I don't mind getting older. I think I'm gonna be fine at getting older. I sucked at being young. I think I'm gonna nail it. It's gonna be fine. Because I'm not sure if you guys can tell this just by looking at me. I'm a loser. It's fine, it's fine. Don't awe, it's fine, it's fine. What's sadder, me saying that or me making it this long not knowing it? Yeah, I'm a bit of a loser, but here's the good news. If you're a young person and you're a bit of a loser yourself and you're all sad about the state of whatever your life is right now, I've got great news for you that I've discovered as I've gotten older. The older you get, the less you're a loser, and now you're just old. That's an incredible trade that no one told me about when I was a little loser kid. I was so worried about so much, and none of that matters anymore. I am irrelevant. It's beautiful. Oh my God, I'm free. Nothing matters anymore. Like, what do I honestly have to complain about? Like, oh, people don't like the bands I like. They never did. Fuck them. My favorite band is Primus. I know I'm wrong. Who gives a shit? Who I actually feel bad for are people my age. Like, I'm 39. People my age who used to be cool and now are staring down the double-barreledness of not being an elder millennial, just a straight-up fucking elder. People who had skin in the game at one point. People who peaked in 2005. You know? I saw you. I wasn't one of you, but I saw you. People fucking in the back of Honda Elements to that sad Yeah, Yeah, Yeah song. Pulling a condom out of an Emily Strange lunchbox purse. I see ya. Your ship is fucking sailed. Yeah, I'm looking at them, and they're frantic, they're panicking, right? Because everything's going now, right? It's like, oh no, my knees are going, my back is going, my eyes are going, I'm starting to lose my hair, and then they look at me and I'm like, fucking welcome to my world, bitch. I lost my hair when I was 17 because God likes to give his strongest warriors his toughest challenges. But no, I've learned, I've evolved, I've grown, I'm happy with who I am and where I've gotten to in life, and I see people my age who so have not. It's really sad when you see a guy like me who hasn't grown up on one iota. You ever meet a guy like me who, like, still hates Justin Bieber? Like, still, like, won't let it go. It's still Warped Tour 09 in his head, and it's never leaving, you know? He's just there forever. And you know when you bring up Justin Bieber to this guy, in his mind, he is still picturing a 13-year-old boy. He has no frame of reference for what Bieber looks like now, which is the world's richest roofer. I don't get why guys don't love him. He's Canadian white trash who made it huge with very minimal talent. He should be your king. I don't get it. But no, some guys are still up about that. They can't let it go. They'll be like in the grocery store or the drugstore, and like Bieber will come on the stereo, and they'll just drop their basket and start huffing and puffing in public. They'll be like, God, you know, fucking goddamn teeny bopper bullshit, Justin Bieber. Can't stand this goddamn shit. Where's fucking Hoover Stank when you fucking need it? I can't take this goddamn bullshit. Smart mutters, that's not real music. You have gout, Randy. You've got real problems now, dude. You can't be focused on whatever the Biebs is getting up to. Relax. I'm pretty sure I'm not racist. And that is as confident as anyone who looks like me should be about that topic, right? It's never great when this face is super duper I know what I'm bringing out into the world, and no one wants to see the performativeness of this guy getting out real hard and heavy. Like, I know what I give off. I look like I get into fist fights with rival Bigfoot hunters. I know I look like there's at least 3 Boston pizzas in town that I'm no longer welcome at. I get it. I have work to do. I know that, because when you have resting white nationalist face, you're in a deficit. You have to work real hard to prove to people you're not a piece of shit. But that's why I don't go overboard with it, because then I doth protest too much. That's why I say, I'm pretty sure. Because when people are way too confident, that's always a sign of trouble. Like, people will say stuff like, oh, I don't have a racist bone in my body. Danger, danger, always danger. Don't trust that. Also, I love that phrase, don't have a racist bone in my body. Fun fact about racism, it's not stored in the bones. It's not a bone-based ailment. You can't drink a lot of milk and not be a Nazi anymore. It's not how it works. It's not where the symptoms manifest. They're usually in, like, the heart and the brain and the vocal cords. That's usually where racism is expressed. It's not in the bones. You're thinking of osteoporosis. That's what you're thinking of. They are both common in the elderly, but they are not the same thing, I can assure you. How badly do you have to fuck up as a cop to be assigned the Superstore exit guard job? every time I go to Superstore, there is always 2 fully uniformed police officers just dicking about by the exits. And the reason I ask, how do you fuck up and get that job is, I was, of course, raised by television in the 90s and early 2000s. I watched a lot of cop shows and cop movies, and I was always led to believe that when a cop makes a big mistake, they don't get fired, they get assigned a do-nothing busy work job to keep them out of trouble. And that has to be what the Superstore gig is, right? Like, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like a show where it's like the hothead rookie cop and the angry, gruff police chief, and the police chief is like, God damn it, Peterson, you shouldn't have shot that guy. You're working a desk job, mister. You know, that type of thing, right? So how do you get the Superstore gig? Does the chief show up the next day? He's like, God damn it, Peterson, you shot the desk. Get your ass to Superstore. One more incident like this and you're headed to No Frills, buddy. I'm not fucking around. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll be the first to admit I have no idea how the police system works whatsoever. Maybe it's not a punishment at all. Maybe it's a treat. Maybe it's something they all want to do. Maybe it's more like, oh, Peterson, I hear it's someone's birthday. Guess where you're going? That's right, you get to go beat up poor people shoplifting food. Oh, and it'll be real easy because they're hungry and weak. You have fun out there, Scamp. It's your day. It's your day. It's your day. Some of y'all might interpret from that last joke that I might be on the side of the shoplifters, and to which that I have to say, have you looked at me? I dress like a Tony Hawk Pro Skater Create a character. Of course I'm on the side of the fucking shoplifters. I stole this shirt. Shoplifting is in my bones. It's in my marrow. It's who I am. I was raised by shoplifters. This is 100% true. My mom, my dear, sweet, departed mother, she once told me that it is, her words, morally justified to shoplift deodorant and soap. Yeah, she told me that. And yeah, she was drunk. And yeah, this was 30 years ago, and she is looking down on me from heaven right now being like, why are you telling people I told you that? Jesus is giving me stink eye, what the fuck? I'm sorry, though, it's true. That's a formative memory. That's not going anywhere. I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember exactly what she said. She was like, all right, let me see if I got this fucking straight. So I need money for, like, food and to live and shit. And I need a job to make money. But I can't get a job if I stink. So I need to get soap and deodorant with the money I make from the job that I need the soap to make the money to keep the job, to buy the soap. That's a fucking pyramid scheme. Fuck that. Oh, what am I supposed to do? Just work a little harder? Work a little harder, I'll make a little extra money. They'll give me extra money. If I work harder, I could buy the soap. If I work harder, they give me more money. No! What do I do, though? I sweat more. I stink more. Gotta buy stronger deodorant. Fuck that. It's not fun. That kind of trailed off from there. All I'm trying to say is, my mom was a sweaty, smelly hero of the goddamn working class. So happy Mother's Day to all of you out there. And yeah, I know Father's Day was more recent. I don't know my dad. Happy Mother's Day. I love movies. I love going to the movies. I go to the movies all the time. And you're probably looking at me right now thinking, Tuesdays? Yeah, what about it? I am the poster boy for Cheap Movie Tuesday. I'm not denying that. It's just who I am. That's a big part of my time. Everything I do, it's like Tuesday rolling up, 2:30 in the afternoon, because real jobs, 2:30 in the afternoon, theater, got my jacket on, got 2 Taco Time tacos stuffed into this pocket, because those are also cheap on Tuesday. Tuesday's a big day, that's what I'm trying to say. I love sneaking food into movies. It separates us from the animals at the movies. And And in fact, I always like to ask people when I feel like I've gotten to know them, and I feel like I've gotten to know all y'all a little bit. I like to ask people, what's the most audacious thing you've ever snuck in to eat or drink in a movie theater? And I like to know that because you hear some amazing tales, but also you get the bonus of you get to sniff out some people who are real proud of some Bush League shit. Because some of y'all cheered, but I know some of y'all that cheered are like, oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean. One time, I was really bad. I bought candy at the store. Or, once I was a real bad person. I brought in a beer. I coughed when I opened it so they wouldn't. Fuck that shit. I want to hear about utensils. I want to hear about you bringing a big hardcover book to put on your lap for separate Tupperwares because you have a thing about different textures touching each other. I want to hear about you using the butter dispenser in the lobby to put butter on corn on the cob. So I'm opening the floor for the only time tonight. If anyone has brought in something to eat at a theater they weren't allowed to and they're proud of it, yell it out right now, please. Hell yeah! We're getting fancy at Oppenheimer.
Why was an extra large pizza and 12 cans of Coke.
12 cans? How many people were with you? 8. All right, fair enough. Respect to that as well. Oh God, I did this bit one time. Someone in the crowd, what they yelled out? They yelled out, Chinese food! And I'm like, yeah! That's what I like to hear. And I asked what I figured was the obvious follow-up question. It was like, hey man, I gotta know, Chinese food, did you bring in chopsticks to eat it or utensils? You wanna know what this king answered? Neither! Not sure how familiar you guys are with Chinese food. Not a finger food, most of it. A lot of rices and noodles and sauces going on there. I'm just picturing this guy sitting down for Superman with a styrofoam container. He cracks it over his head like an egg. I'll tell you what mine is, of course. I'll tell you what mine is. It may not sound that impressive when I start, but you gotta let me finish. My proudest movie theater food experience, movie theater popcorn from a different movie theater. Fuck the law, I don't believe in nothing no more. Because it's one thing to sneak in food that you want that they don't have. It's a whole other thing to sneak in the only thing they got. That's just rubbing butter in the wound, isn't it? That is a true story. I was seeing a movie across town early afternoon. Got a text from my friends to see a movie later that night. Just got a refill as I was leaving. Walked up to the theater. Didn't even hide it. I walked in eating it. It had a different theater's name on the bag. Advertising a movie that theater wasn't playing. Could have bought my ticket online, could have bought it from the self-checkout. Nope, went right up to the counter. I want them to see, I'm proud of this. I'm like, yeah, ticket for one, please. Say something, I dare you. I want to get into a fight with a 14-year-old girl. Let's rock and roll. Some of y'all might recognize me. Don't worry, I won't call you out for it. I know some of you may recognize me, and it's cool, it's fine. It is true. You are currently staring at the former assistant manager of Adult Video on the corner of McPhillips and Logan. There will be plenty of time for autographs after the show. Yep, Adult Video, McPhillips and Logan. I know they like to say when you record a comedy thing that's going to go out to the greater masses, you shouldn't make your references very niche. I understand that. So if anyone's watching this from somewhere else, I'm in Winnipeg, Canada, and McPhillips and Logan, that's a very dangerous neighborhood, and Winnipeg's already a very dangerous town. So I worked at a sex toy and pornography rental store in one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in one of the most dangerous cities in Canada. Because how often are you thinking to yourself, you know, I really feel like masturbating, but I also want to get stabbed? Well, come on down to Adult Video, McPhillips and Logan. I wrote him a theme song. Want to hear it? Adult Video, McPhillips and Logan, where all of your dreams come. It was the worst job I'd ever had. I hated that place. Oh, and here's a fun fact for the live audience here. I've been telling this joke for a while now, And my location closed a long time ago. And I just assumed they were totally out of business. Your boy here did some Googling. It's not. So guess what you guys just heard that everyone else heard? Because if there's one person who's fucking insane and will definitely sue you, it's someone who runs a pornography rental store in 2025. It was the worst job I'd ever had. I did things at that job I never thought I would ever do. I once drew a map on the back of a napkin for a customer to the nearest hardware store so that they could go to that hardware store to buy a bicycle tube repair kit to fix a rupture in a blow-up doll. Real thing I did. That's a real thing I did. For money, I did that. I did that for money. Not only money I was taxed on. I made an hourly wage, wasn't much, but the government got a teeny little taste of my effort and labor that day. That's why I will never look down on what anyone does for a living. Sex work, OnlyFans, don't care. What ground do I have to fucking stand on, right? It's like, oh, you took a picture of your butthole and sent it to a dude and he gave you $100? That's way less degrading than whatever the fuck that was that I did for minimum wage. Trying to remember what the Canadian Tire logo looks like. I'm brushing lettuce off a Subway napkin. Meanwhile, some guy is sweating, staring over my shoulder, holding his wet, deflated wife. No, I don't know why she was wet. I didn't ask. People ask me, why did I even bother doing that? It was a minimum wage job. That was not in my job description. I know that. But listen, I was raised to have a strong work ethic with whatever I am tasked to do, okay? If someone's paying me to do a job, I do the job. And I do the job 110% every damn time because I live by a motto. Fix a man's blow-up doll, he'll fuck it for a day. Teach a man to fix his own blow-up doll, huh? He'll be lonely forever. So. I learned a lot about myself working at that place. You learn a lot about yourself working at a place that sells sex toys and sex toy ephemera. Here's something I learned. Did y'all know that edible underwear expires? I mean, I'm sure innately you knew that. It's food. All food eventually expires, right? But I bet you've never had to think about that, have you? No. I bet that's not a concern any of you have ever had to worry about. I've never purchased them myself, but imagine if any of you have ever bought edible underwear, you bought them with the meal already on the docket, right? You know when they're going to be consumed. You don't have to worry about best before dates. They don't sell them at Costco. You don't bulk up on them. You don't buy 48 packs of them and put them in the panty pantry and forget about them, right? Then you do your big clean out once a year and you're like, 2021, whoa! You know, it's like, we all had big plans for the pandemic, didn't we? It didn't pan. But no, edible underwear, 100%, it expires. And when it is your job to assistant manage a place that sells edible underwear, part of your job description is you have to go look at them, look at the best before dates, and if they are past their prime, gotta give them the old heave-ho. This was a very dark time in my life, guys. And that job did not pay very well. And I was very, very hungry. Rock bottom is a relative term. Can mean many different things to many different people. But my rock bottom was most definitely eating expired edible underwear right out of the box, so to speak. They were like the floppy, like Jolly, like fruit by the foot type of candy. I'm describing it, I don't care. You gotta come with me on this. They were like the floppy kind of, fruit roll-up kind of candy material, but it had long since just solidified and crumbled into like a thong-shaped Jolly Rancher. They were They were red, cherry flavor. Allegedly, the flavor profile, long gone. It's just empty calories at this point. I'm just eating it. And with every bite, I'm just thinking about every single decision that I've made in my life that's led me to this exact moment. Like, what have I done? What could I have done? What do I do now? I'm eating, I'm getting emotional, I'm eating, I'm holding back tears. Now I'm that guy on the bus. It was a bad day. So I quit. I quit that job. I quit. It wasn't because of the sex toys or the pornography. I didn't care about any of that. I quit because, like all failing businesses, they couldn't just stick with what they did and make that the best they could. It was the porno accoutrement that we sold. That was the stuff I had an issue with. That was the stuff where I'm like, I can't abide this. We sold oral sex desensitizing mouth spray. Yeah, I will explain it. I'm sorry. It was like a breath freshener, like a little banaka thing, like the thing you spray in your throat, and you spray it in your mouth, and it coats your throat, and what it does is it gets rid of your gag reflex. You guys know about the gag reflex, right? That thing that your body does when you're choking on something all by itself, thus saving your life. Did you know there's a cure for that? I'm gonna make this as clear as I possibly can. Some people on this planet are born with a certain set of skills. Some would call it a superhuman skill. And if you have a partner that wants you to do a superhuman skill with your normal human abilities, and they try and give you performance-enhancing drugs to make that superhuman skill a reality, they're going to fucking kill you. I couldn't stand it. It made me so mad. And the thing that made me the most mad about this was the product name, the actual company that produced this thing. You know what their name was? Comfortably Numb. Go fuck yourself. With that, yeah, for all you Pink Floyd Deep Throat fans out there. Yeah, welcome to the machine, honey. No, gross. You don't finish your meat, you can't have any pudding. Listen. I don't claim to be the best comedian in the world. The funniest comedian, none of that. I don't make any illusion that I'm anywhere close to that. But you shop around and you find me a better Pink Floyd Deep Throat joke than that. I've looked. That's my crown, baby. It's like Wayne Gretzky said, you win 100% of the races, you're the only one in. I'm not from here originally. I'm originally from Ontario, and I've traveled around a little bit, and I've gotten to see a little bit of the country and talk to people from different places. And when you move out of where you're from, you realize that when you meet other people your age from other places, you realize that like a lot of the things that you had happen to you when you grew up, you kind of take for granted as things that only really apply to where you grew up. Like specific stories, specific things, landmarks, events, they're very niche to just where you were. And then you go around, you meet different people, and you hear different stories. And it's kind of interesting. Like I was in a town once, a friend was driving me around, he was driving me past his old high school. And when we were driving past his old high school, he pointed out the window, he goes, "Hey, you see those 5 trees and 2 bushes behind that high school?" And I went, "Yeah." And he went, "We used to call that hand job forest." And isn't it beautiful how 2 words tell a whole story? But I don't have hand job forest. I'm from Ontario, dang it. And I didn't realize this until I kind of moved away and really got a perspective on this, that everyone my age who grew up in southern Ontario, I'm 39, so everyone kind of my age, plus or minus about 10 years, we all have something in common. We all have something that unites us. And that is, every single one of us, when we were growing up, saw something real out of pocket go down at Marineland. Something really uncalled for, haunted us for the rest of our days. And the fascinating thing, almost never involves whales, and they're all different. It's amazing. We trade them like Pokemon cards. Like, what's your trauma? And we give it all out. And the thing is, I often ask people like, if they don't know what Marineland is, but what's really sad is that most people do know what Marineland is. I'm saddened that our secret shame got out to the rest of the country. But if you don't know what Marineland is, it's basically SeaWorld of the North, okay? It's a whale-themed amusement park, and it's in Niagara Falls, Ontario. And if you've never been to Niagara Falls, and I say Niagara Falls, I'm sure most of you are like, oh yeah, I know Niagara Falls, it's pretty. You're thinking of the falls. What you gotta do is go there, stare at the falls, and do a 180-degree turn and bear witness to the cartoon nightmare town of Niagara Falls, Ontario. Because it's a tourist trap town because of the falls. All they have is like abandoned hotels and creepy wax museums, and because of the falls, it's always misty. It's like living in Silent Hill. And like, some intrepid business owner saw the state of this town and was like, I know what would spruce this joint up, animal abuse. So they built Marineland. And everyone I know has a story. Everyone has a story. I have a friend, her story, she once saw 2 Amish men get into a fist fight at Marineland. Yeah, oh, and I didn't stutter. I didn't mean Mennonite. Capital A, Amish. All black, big hat, long beard, wailing on each other in front of whales, going into it. And my favorite part about that story isn't even the fight. It's the fact that Amish people are allowed to go to Marineland. Like, whales aren't technology, so they're technically allowed to know what they are. Just an old Amish man watching a fucking orca do a backflip. He's like, yeah, no gears in that one. Add it to the book of things we know. I'll tell you my story. I was about 8 years old. I went to Marineland with my grandma. My grandma loved Marineland. We were walking around. We saw the killer whales. We saw the belugas. I got a snow cone. The movie Blackfish hadn't come out yet. I had no idea. It was a perfectly guilt-free day at Marineland. And then my grandma was like, hey, I want to take you to my favorite part of Marineland. And my grandma's favorite part of Marineland was Deerland. There are deer at Marineland. And they are as confused as you are as to what the fuck they're doing there. I'm pretty sure that when they were building Marineland, there just happened to be deer on site, and rather than shoo them away, they just put up a fence and a sign, like, fuck it, Deerland, whatever. But they're tiny deer. They're like 4 feet tall maximum, and they're very docile. It's a petting zoo. So what you do is you go into Deerland. There's all these deer roaming around. You go up to these big machines. You put in a quarter. You turn the crank to get a handful of seed, and the deer will come and eat right out of your hand. It's very sweet. So I'm feeding these Marineland deer. I'm having a good time. And then my grandma comes up to me, and she gives me a little elbow, and she goes, hey, check this out. And my grandma opened up her purse, and unbeknownst to me, earlier in the day, my grandma at home had filled her entire purse with birdseed. Because my grandma loves deer and loves a deal. And she thought it would be a really nice gesture to give these deer a bunch of seed, you know? But these are Marineland deer. They're only used to handfuls of stuff. They're not used to purse loads of nothing, man. So when the deers catch on that this little old lady is doling out seed like it's going out of style, suddenly 1 deer became 2, became 4, became 8, became 16, became every deer in Deerland are forming a tight circle around my grandma and I. And they're starting to get aggressive, and they're butting up against us, and we're hearing noises that deer don't normally make, angry noises. And my sweet, darling 82-year-old grandma just looks down at me, and she just says, "Run!" And we ran our asses off to get away from these Marineland deer. Now, I am a chubby little 8-year-old kid. I do not have good cardio by any means, but I can outlap an 82-year-old woman with great ease. I am going to leave my grandmother to die at the hands of deer at Marineland, a thing I didn't even know was possible 10 minutes earlier. So I did something I'd never done before and I've never done since. I did a pass the football motion. I'm like, Grandma, did this. And she fucking Troy Aikman spiked her purse to me. I grab it. I start whipping seed behind me like I'm Johnny Appleseed on fucking crank. The deer are making great pace with me, though. They're butting up against my ass, my legs. I'm just running around in circles trying to get them. Any staff at Marineland? No. Anyone want to help me? God, no. But I'm just running. Purse is finally empty. Throw the purse over my shoulder. Think these deer give a fuck? No! Fucks given by these deer. They chase me for another 5 minutes till they realize that butting up against the fat boy yields little seed. It's all over. They finally leave me alone. I look over the horizon. I see my grandma has been watching this the entire time. So I slowly walk over to her. And I get in front of my grandma. And she just puts her hands on my shoulders. And my sweet, darling, 82-year-old wife of a minister grandmother just looks me in the eyes and goes, "This place is fucked. Let's get out of here." And we never went back to Marineland again. How awesome would it be if that story was fake, but the Moore story was real? Oh, fuck, I'm queer. I forgot to bring that up. Shit. I forgot. I'm a comedian and I'm queer. That's supposed to be my entire act, isn't it? Ah, shit. Ah, damn. Yeah, I'm queer. Don't get excited. I'm not one of the fun ones. Also, note the language, queer, not gay. No self-respecting gay man would enter the dating scene with this. It's fine. Yeah, no, I'm queer. I am asexual. Thank you. Bone-chilling silence. It's what I love. Beautiful. No, it's what I love. It's great. Yeah, I am an asexual man. And if you don't know what asexuality means I don't fuck. That's my whole thing. Whoop-de-doo. It's an exciting way to be. Yeah, it's very simple. It's just basically I just don't have a lot of sex ever. And I know you all knew that, but did you know that there's a word for the way I don't do it? Holy shit. No, I'm a 39-year-old white man who doesn't have sex, and I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm just like every other stand-up comedian you've ever seen, just on purpose. Other comedians hate that joke, and I love it so much. Yeah, that's just my deal. I don't have any firm or strong attraction to people in a sexual way. I still like hanging out with people. I like being close with people, but I don't have that. I don't have any firm or strong sexual attraction to anyone, men, women, etc. Sorry, non-binary people. I know you hate being called etc., but it is what it is. I included you, okay? Non-binary people are always excluded in vague generalizations like that. It's always ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. No. I see you, NBs. You're right there. I see you. I'm recognizing you. You're valid. You're legit. And guess what? You are part of the big tent community that is the entire world I'm not interested in plowing. Mazel tov. You made it. Congrats. But yeah, no, I've been out as an asexual person for 9 years. I've known I was longer, and if you're wondering why are you even talking about this, I wondered that for a long time myself, because literally it is just my business, but every other comedian's allowed to talk about their life experience, so fuck it, so am I. And the reason I started talking about it is because it made me feel a little bit more comfortable saying it to other people just in my day-to-day life and doing all that. But I understand that it's not a very common thing. You probably don't know many people who identify as that. That's fine. It's not a very common thing. It's a little less than 1% of the population is somewhere on the asexuality spectrum. And it is a little bit of a spectrum. But that means that when I first started telling people I was asexual, I didn't know any other asexual people. There wasn't a really big asexual community I could talk to about it. So at a lot of times when I was first coming out with it, it was very isolating, and it was very lonely. But the good news is I'm asexual. I love being lonely. That's my favorite fucking thing. It's why I'm telling you now, leave me alone. It's the best. The thought of no one touching my dick makes my dick rock hard. But listen. Don't overthink it. Listen. I like talking about it because you probably could imagine this. Most asexual people are pretty reserved. They're pretty private. So there's not a lot of vocal people talking about it. But I was born with the magical ability of being asexual and a gregarious asshole who likes doing stand-up comedy. So I'm like, hey, everyone, listen to me. Get away. It's great. So I like to talk about it to let people know, like, hey, I've never heard of that. I don't know any asexual people. Well, now you do. And that's just how it goes. I do that 11 months out of the year. That's why I do that material 11 months out of the year. In June, during Pride Month, I love doing my asexual material at queer shows, just so I can remind other queer people that they're stuck with me. That's right, straighty don't want me. I'm your problem now. I bring down the vibe of every party I've ever been invited to my entire life. And queer people throw amazing fucking digs, man. And I get to show up all fucking haggard. Doesn't matter. They're so wonderful. They're so welcoming. They're so inviting. And I can see that disdain in their fucking eyes. They're like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I don't fucking know. And I'm still there. And they keep inviting me. And this might be an overgeneralization, but I do not care. It has been my experience every time. The food at gay people's parties blows straight party food out of the fucking water. Oh my God. Crab rangoons. Homemade crab rangoons. My straight friends never made homemade crab rangoons. And I get to eat them. I did nothing. Do you understand me? Literally did nothing. And I get to load up an entire armful of the fucks, and I can see them like, we made those for everybody. I'm like, I bet you fucking did. And I just walk into the fucking closet, the actual closet. And the only thing I gotta do to keep this gravy train rolling is die alone, and I was already planning on doing that. Best crime in the fucking world. Yeah, but here's the good news for all of you. You may have noticed something. When you get an asexual comedian, it's great for crowds. No crowd work. I don't give a shit about you. It's fine. Not my interest. I don't care. You know, I'm sure you all have like jobs and lives and relationships. Fuck it, who cares? Not my business. You ever notice that comedians who do a lot of crowd work are mostly talking to the hot women in the crowd? Thirsty boys. That's all they are. Don't care. Sorry, not my business. But here's the thing is that people, when I tell them what I'm about and what this is, you know, they try to be nice. You know, they try to be nice. They'll ask questions without even really thinking about what they're asking. You know, they'll be like, "Oh, you're asexual. What's that like?" You know what it's like. Is this the first time you've not fucked ever when you're talking to me? It's like this, right? Like what we're all doing right now, forever, okay? It's that, okay? Actually, that's not entirely fair. I have really bad light sensitivity. Like these lights are all right in my eyes. Like I can barely see the front 2 rows here. There very well could be people fucking in the back row right now and I straight up wouldn't know. But if there are, let me just say, you've kept it quiet, you've not interrupted the recording, carry on. I want that to be true so bad once. Just people that are like, oh, he's so nice. Is that how you, I don't know, whatever. But no, it's good. It's fine. I mean, like, it's a pretty simple existence. Oh, we have news. Asexuals have news. That's news unto itself. We never have news. Yeah, it's big news. It's exciting news. We have our first celebrity hater. I didn't say it was good news, but it's news all the same. Look, listen, I know that I am queer by the thinnest of definitions, okay? Like me specifically, right? No one's coming after me for anything, okay? I'm not trying to steal any focus away from any other queer person's, like, plight whatsoever. They all have it a million times worse than I do. And especially asexuals, we don't really get thought of with a lot of bigoted thoughts all the time, you know? I wouldn't even say we are really hated. We are more often just dismissed. People just try to pretend like that's not even a thing. Like if I had to surmise all of the hatred I've ever experienced in my life in one noise, it would be bleh. And bleh is fine. I can handle bleh. I'm a big boy. I'm bleh. Like I've been bleh before. I'll be bleh again. It's fine. Like it's the same reaction where if you have like an uncle who's clearly lactose intolerant and you try to explain to him what oat milk is, and he's like, bleh, fuck your grass juice. I also have diarrhea forever like a real man. Like that's all it is. I have to look for people who hate me. That's privilege. I have to actually go into deep, dank corners of the internet to find people who legit hate asexuals. I found them, and boy, oh howdy, was I surprised. They're not just bigots, they're also racist, because people hate me specifically because they're white nationalists obsessed with birth rates. Yeah, they're the only people who hate me. They'll see a guy like me who's just wandering about his life like, yeah, I'm just living my life. I don't fuck. What about it? And they're like, no! We need more of you. We do? Are we running out of Mario 64 speedrunners? What the fuck do we need more of me for? If you're a woman in this crowd and you want to have a baby with a guy who looks like me, that is an attainable goal. Just not with me. Holy shit. Also, I have no idea what these crazy guys, what their plan is. Like, you can't even get yourself laid. How are you gonna get me laid? What's your strategy here? Are you gonna grab me and some poor asexual woman and just shove us both in a closet like 7 minutes in heaven? And you're just gonna like, make us do it? Just cut to her and I back to back, each of us on our phone playing Wordle in complete silence. What's your starting word? Stare? That's pretty good. Mine's knife. Yeah, I know it's weird, but okay, look, I got my reasons. It's got an I and an E in it, so you got 2 vowels. N is a far more common letter than you think. And if it's got a K or an F in it, I'll get it in like 3, because not many words. What's that? Oh yeah, we're still totally doing it. She's wet as hell. So anyway, yeah. But anyway, we have our first celebrity hater. Asexuals have our first out and proud celebrity who put their opinions on main, and we're like, don't like asexual people. Don't think it's real, don't respect it, give them no courtesy whatsoever to what they say their lives are, hate them. And to the shock and surprise of, I'm sure, absolutely no one in this crowd, of course it was J.K. Rowling. Who the fuck else would it have been? And look, when I heard that, I was disappointed. Not in her. I didn't need more reasons to hate her. Jesus Christ. But I was disappointed that I don't have more interesting news to give you. Because I could have given you all 2 guesses and you all would have gotten her, right? Like, that's not surprising. And the only reason it wasn't Mel Gibson is I don't think he knows what we are. But yeah, I'm disappointed. Like, I don't want the hatred of asexuals to be like a rich variety of people or nothing, but I'm bummed that it's the most obvious choice in the world. I wish it was something interesting. Tom Hanks. What if it was Tom Hanks? As far as I'm aware, Tom Hanks has never had a bad thing to say about anyone his entire life. But you gotta admit, if it was Tom Hanks, that'd be fucking interesting. If he's just doing a press tour for a movie, he's like, maybe they just don't know how to fuck right. I don't even know how he talks. I don't care. But no, it was J.K. Rowling. She woke up one morning out of her fucking bog, pulled up a cracked first-generation iPad, uncurled a 10-inch long witch finger, pulled up X, the everything app, and let the entire world know that me staying home on a Friday night to catch up on Taskmaster instead of going out in the street snarling for puss made her personally offended. So there's your big asexual news. She still sucks. Moving on. Old people. Let's get into them. Not literally. Let's talk about them. I've had to learn a lot about, like, how old people process queer people's opinions and beliefs and all that, and it's really frustrating. I don't want to generalize old people, but hey, it's old people. And, like, old people will say things that just bug me about, like, the state of the world that they see right now. They see things going on in the world and they're acting like, oh my God, this is all brand new. None of this I've ever seen before. And they're all shocked and indignant. They're like, oh God, when I was growing up, we had none of this. We didn't have all these queer people. We didn't have all these drag shows. We didn't have all this autism. This is the same generation that gave us Elvis impersonators. And what is that if not the epitome of all 3 of the things I just said? I am going to dress up like my favorite man in the whole wide world. I'm gonna sing like him, I'm gonna dance like him, I'm gonna mimic his between song mannerisms. I'm going to cripple my fingers bedazzling his face on the back of an all-white flare-legged jumpsuit. Oh, and I have a friend here. He also dresses up as Elvis, but my friend here, he dresses up as Elvis from a different era. Does that sound familiar to anyone? Yeah, I'm a bit of a bigger guy. I dress as late period Elvis. He's kind of skinny. He goes as young Elvis. That's right. We allow for different phenotypes in Elvis impersonating. All I'm trying to say is if you were queer and had a touch of the tism in the 80s, the only outlet society afforded you was Elvis. And now it's far more open, and I think we could call that a good thing. Could you imagine being gay and neurodivergent in the 80s and you didn't look good with sideburns? You're fucked. And yes, full disclosure, I did look up how to say the word phenotype before I wrote that joke. It's not a word that's in my regular repertoire. And yes, I also looked up the word repertoire. I've gotten to know a lot of different queer people since I've come out and started performing and doing all this, and I've learned a lot about the queer community as a whole, and it's very interesting. I learned a lot. I learned something that I thought was kind of interesting, which is that the queer community isn't 100% harmonious all the time. It's a big tent community, includes a lot of different types of people. Some very different polar opposite types of people within those communities. And it's really fascinating to become friends with them. Like, one of my closest friends in the world is polyamorous. And you'd think a polyamorous person and an asexual person have nothing in common, but we're very good friends. We get along incredibly well, and I often say we need to team up and fight crime. Them with their powers of seduction, me with my car, we'd be unstoppable. I don't have a fucking car. Anyway. No, I've learned a lot about the queer community, and I've learned a lot about the weird little infighting things, and not weird and little, it's big things, it's problems. It's like they actually have to work out and come to terms with things. Like, I know a lot of bisexual people. Do we know any bisexual people? Yeah, good on you. And I've learned a lot from bisexual people that there's a thing where they get it from both sides. Shut up, grow up. They get heat from gay people and straight people telling bi people to pick a side. It's called bi erasure, and it's stupid. Knock it off. And bi people, they have to deal with this all the time. And I've talked to them, and they tell me about it, and it sucks. And they try to relate to me with it. I do my best to relate back to them. And they're like, man, sometimes it really stinks being bi. Everyone hates you because you have sex with everybody. Yeah, that sounds like it sucks. Try fucking nobody. See how many friends you have there. Look, I'm not trying to minimize your plight, bi people. I'm really not. But you're one of the big four, okay? You're the B. You're the B in LGBT. That is huge. You're an above the title player. You're on the movie poster. People know what you are. You know the really long LGBT abbreviation? Yeah? The really long one? The one where if you use it as a password, you get, ooh, very secure, because it's got numbers and characters in it. I'm only on that one, baby. And I'm constantly reminded I should be lucky to be there. And here's a fun fact for y'all, if you don't know the whole abbreviation. I am the second A. The second A. Someone made that call. Someone decided that I was the second A, and I'm tired of pretending I'm not bitter about that. Next Pride, I'm fucking coming for that first A. As far as I'm concerned, that one's me. Yeah, you're on fucking notice, androgynous. You watch your ass. Think you're so fucking hot shit? You're not anymore? No. It's our time. It's our time. I'm fucking kidding. I'm not picking a fight with androgynous people. Androgynous people are like the coolest people we have, full stop. No one's thinking I'm cooler than David Bowie. I'm not fucking stupid. Androgynous people have so many cool people. Androgynous people have like Tilda Swinton and like every good anime. What do I have? Who do asexuals have? Jughead from the Archie comics. That's it. It's my only guy. It's my only guy. And specifically just the comics, not in Riverdale. He fucked on Riverdale. Because I guess we don't make for very compelling characters in teen sex dramas, do we? No. And as I've gotten older and I've talked to more people in the queer community, like I'm 40 next year, and I'm talking to older queer people, and they're telling me about like what their experiences are like as like a queer person who's growing older. And they're like, hey, you know, gay people, lesbians, trans people, when we all get older, we become elders within the community. We shepherd young people who are just joining in the community, tell them like, here's what to look forward to, here's what to avoid, things to do, things to see, things to experience. You know, someone to guide you along, someone to make it easier for you than it was for me. Do asexuals have that? And I'm here to tell you, no! Absolutely not! think about what you just asked me for a split second. I realized I was asexual when I was 30. What you just asked me to do was you just asked a 39-year-old man to hang out with a bunch of 20-year-olds. And the only thing that any of us have in common is none of us fuck. I don't know how to explain this, but to me, that's creepier than if I was trying to fuck them. It's the complete opposite of grooming, but just as sinister? I don't know how to explain it. And young asexual people who are like out now, it's like a more popular, not popular, but it's like a more open, freeing thing. So they're free to do it younger and younger, and that's great. And they have like terms for each other. They call each other aces. They say, we're aces. I'm like, yeah, good luck trying to make it cool. But they're trying to, I don't use the word. I don't hate the word. They can use the word, but I don't use the word. Why? I'm 39. When I start using hip slang, it's not hip anymore. So keep me away from them. What you want me to do is roll up to these kids and be like, hey, fella aces, how you doing? And they just give me a once-over and go, oh, God, that's what I'm gonna be? That's it. We're all gonna start fucking each other now so that we don't end up like you. And that's the last thing any of us need, okay? You ever heard an asexual person come before? It's not pretty. You ever play a dog a recording of itself barking? Like territorial, mad, instantly confused. What just happened? I lost something. I lost something. There it is. That's mine. Give it back. I really hope there's more asexual comedians because I hope that's not the only thing you think about us from here on out. You ever met an asexual person? Yeah, they're the ones that try to shove their own comeback in their bodies. I understand that you've sat through me talking about not fucking for a very long time, and I appreciate that. And I gotta tell you, I feel great about the choice I made to come out and start telling people, and it's really beneficial. And honestly, if you have anything you're feeling that you want to say and you want to get it out. It's always good. It's not going to be 100% great. I can't promise that. And even myself, like, I will admit, when I first started telling people, I will admit that some of my friends, and full disclosure, my queer and my straight friends, some of them stopped hanging out with me as much as they did. It's just the facts. It's just what happened. And I noticed it, and I felt it, and finally, I confronted a friend about it. I was like, man, I got the same Instagram stories you do, man, okay? I know you all went to the bar last night. You normally invite me. You didn't. Why? And they're like, oh, we didn't think you'd want to come. I was like, why? It's like, well, you told us, you know, about your thing, and, you know, all of us were there with our partners, so there's that. And any of us who were single were there to kind of, you know, maybe hook up or whatever, so we figured hanging out at the bar is not your thing anymore. You wouldn't want to hang out and get drunk with us. And I was like, you thought I wouldn't want to hang out and get drunk? I'm still sad. What the fuck? What backwards ass logic is that? Oh, because I don't fuck, I got everything else figured out? This is a disaster still, man. There's a lot I would love to drink and forget about with a companion. All I'm trying to say is if you happen to have an asexual person in your life, invite us out to things as you would anyone else, okay? We're not the most gregarious people. We may not always say yes, but we still want to be part of your lives. We love all the same types of hanging out you do. There's just one type of hanging out that we don't like to do. Don't invite us to that. Seems pretty simple, right? And listen, I know my friends are hanging out without me. I know it. And I know that statistically, there is no way that all of those hangouts are ending in orgies. Nah, not my friends. Not that cool. Not that cool. And listen, even if they did, you should still invite me because I have happened to have known some people who've done a little bit of group sex, okay? Not bragging, just saying. And what's a person who enjoys group sex? Oh, well, that's a very spontaneous person. And what's a very spontaneous person? A poor event planner. I can only imagine the veritable clusterfucks that these orgies are turning into, and what you need, and you're too proud to admit it, is an asexual, neutral party to make sure things run smoothly. You need a gum guy. You need someone with clean hands to cut up fresh pineapple. You need someone to curate a good Spotify playlist that doesn't end too quickly and then Joe Rogan starts playing, throws the whole vibe off. You need someone without a visible erection to answer the door for Uber Eats. I'm not going to touch you. I'm not even going to look at you. But you need an asexual orgy daddy. Stop pretending you don't. I've done that joke before. I hate to shatter the illusion that was all off the top of my head. I've done that joke before. And several times after I've done that joke, several times, someone has come up to me after the show and been like, hey man, that was really funny. Also, that's a good idea. What are you doing later? It's flattering, you know? And every time it's happened, I just say the same thing. I just go, get away from me. Wide-eyed pervert wearing a mesh shirt in a public bathroom? What the fuck are you talking to me? That's a joke. That's hell. Never ask an asexual person to fucking do that. Also, I could see that horny look in your eyes. You don't even want the hypothetical service I was offering, okay? I know what you want. I know what you want. I was offering you a concierge. You clearly want a janitor. Not what I was offering. I didn't mention cleanup once, did I? No, I did not. Never been to one, but I imagine orgies are a lot like national parks. You make a mess, you fucking clean it up. I don't give a shit. That's not my bug. People find this strange that even though I'm asexual, I do legitimately think that sexual education is important. Like, even though I don't partake, I'm still fascinated by your world. Like, I understand, like, there's no asexual agenda. Like, I'm not trying to convert you or anything. And I understand, like, oh, we need babies for the world to continue. So I understand, like, sex is an important thing for, But so I understand that sex education is something that we all need to be versed on. And I'm not talking about the rinky-dink ass sex education that we all got in high school. I think we can all admit that was some pretty rudimentary shit. And when I was growing up, they separated the classes, like boys in one class, girls in the other. And I think that's a little weird. But I also have the opinion that as long as we're separating these classes, keep separating them. Make them even more niche. Why not? Because, little fun fact about me, guys. I'm circumcised. Yeah, I don't use my dick and I've got less of it to use. Whoop-de-doo. But I'm circumcised. Big whoop. And there's no shade on any men out there who still have your foreskin. Great. Good for you. Be proud. Wave it proud and free in the sweet summer air. I'm bad at this. Asexuals are really bad at body positivity. I'm real sorry. We don't like bodies. That's the whole thing. But whatever, go for it. So I'm not throwing any shade on any adult man who still has his foreskin. Who I am throwing shade on are teenage boys who still have their fucking foreskin. Because in sex ed class, I had to learn a lot about uncircumcised penis maintenance. Information that is not relevant to my life whatsoever, and it haunted me. Just my gym teacher at the front of the class being like, now remember, guys, you gotta pull it back and clean it every day. And the kid beside me pulls out his notebook and a pen and goes, pull back and clean every day. Underline. And I'm looking at him like, oh, you need to write that down, Anthony. Are you worried that's gonna be on the test, Anthony? A lot of comedians, when they tell stories about their lives, they'll like switch up details, maybe over-embellish things, and if they're telling a story about another person, maybe they'll take that person's out or change that person's name, and comedians that do that are cowards. Anthony was a real guy. 100% real guy, and his name was Anthony. We did not keep in touch after high school. I've not spoken to him in 21 years. But he is probably still out there somewhere, and I am recording this, so, hey, Anthony. Hope you're doing well, bud. Don't know where life took you, but I hope it took you to where you wanted to go. I hope life is satisfying and fulfilling, and I truly hope that you and that dirty dog dick of yours are doing better these days. But yes, sex education is very important to me. That is why I am still sad that we lost a great voice in the world of sex education. A few years ago, we lost a woman that was very important to a lot of people. I know that. And of course, I am talking about the late, great Sue Johansson. I have just identified all the elder millennials in the crowd. Congrats. Sue Johansson, for those of you that may not know, had a television show in the late 90s and early 2000s called the Sunday Night Sex Show. And the Sunday Night Sex Show was a call-in show. You could call in from all across Canada, and Sue Johansson was a very knowledgeable sex educator. She would answer any single question you had about sex, sexual health, STDs, anything you wanted to know, she knew it. And if you're too young to know that and you've never thought of something like this, you're like, oh, that sounds like a very informative show. I'm sure that was very straight-laced and very serious program and wasn't, full of tomfoolery. Oh, hell no. Sue Johansson was this 4-foot-tall sex gnome, and she knew everything. She knew everything. And she had a big chest full of sex toys. And she's like, look at this. And she'd make sure that people knew everything about sex. More than you ever wanted to know. She told you. And she was funny, and she was sarcastic, and she didn't like when people pulled pranks. She didn't suffer fools gladly. She was the Judge Judy of the clitoris, and we loved her. We loved her. And she was first and foremost an educator. And like all educators, she hated having to repeat herself. Because she always had to repeat herself because people wouldn't listen. And she always said one thing every episode, and I never forgot it, ever. She would always say, never use Vaseline as lube. And you're like, why? I'll tell you why. Vaseline is a petroleum-based lubricant, not water-based. Why is that important? A petroleum-based lubricant, when created with friction, causes heat. What does heat do? Heat will make a condom useless. It will make a condom break. It will get rid of the spermicide on a condom. That's out of the window. And if you leave a petroleum-based lubricant inside your vagina, it can give you a yeast infection. Yeah. I'm not going to call you out, but I saw someone in the crowd go, every time I do this joke, I always see one person go, huh. Or hear some variation of, huh, or huh. Meaning, oh, I didn't know that. Why do I know that? I don't need to know that. Fucking sexual, baby. You should never learn anything about sex from me. That is why we need sex education. Because Sue Johansson said that every single night. It was practically how she ended every show. She'd be like, thanks for watching the Sunday Night Sex Show, folks. I'm Sue Johansson. Don't put Vaseline on your cooch. Good night. That was her version of keep your stick on the ice. Guys, you were a fucking delight. Thank you so much. Have yourselves a wonderful night. Keep it going for Jared. Keep it going for Mike. Eric in the back. Dan, Kathy, Kiara doing cameras. This wasn't a waste of time, and I didn't pass the stone. Let's see how the 10 o'clock show does. Get out of here. I love y'all. Goodbye.